For WeAreSC.com, I'm Angel Viscarra, joined by Garry, Paskwietz, and Darrell Rideaux, following USC's win here at the Coliseum over Colorado, 31-20. And we really felt like an impressive ball game for USC. We'll start off breaking things down with you, Darrell. One number I know you love, 16 tackles for loss. How aggressive was this defense tonight?
Well, give a lot of credit to Clancy Pendergast and his coaching staff. They came in designed to stop a very explosive Colorado offense, led by Chenault, their marquee receiver, 6'2", 220 pounds, coming into this game, averaging 10-plus catches a game, 141. USC held him under his average, and they did a really good job of really just kind of disrupting the timing, playing very physical at the line of scrimmage, but more importantly, really confusing that offense of Colorado. Never allowed them to get into a rhythm. Kudos to that defensive line. They played in the backfield the whole night.
All right, Garry, in this defense, when we saw the captains come out tonight, obviously Cam Smith comes out in street clothes. He's not participating tonight. How much more impressive is it that this defense was able to perform so high without Cam Smith?
Very impressive. Cameron Smith is your quarterback of the defense. He's your signal caller, getting everything lined up. And you're going against a Colorado offense that was putting up almost 40 points a game. Yeah. I'm going to credit Palaie na Ote. There we go. The true freshman with his first extended playing time. Not only extended playing time, but he had a start. And boy, Angel, in that first half, we all saw it. He was all over the place. This guy has sideline to sideline instincts at the linebacker position. There's a reason he was so highly ranked coming out of high school. He had two big hits right before he left with concussion symptoms. He hit their running back in the thigh, and then a real high hit against Chenault, the receiver, where that was a pretty wicked hit. Glad both of those young men are okay. But if you're looking for the future of the inside linebacker spot, boy, we saw it with number one. And I'm going to credit Ruben Peters as well. Yeah. Once Palaie went out, Ruben was settled in nicely. One last guy I want to mention on defense for tonight is Marvell Tell, back from that safety spot. Boy, Darrell, he was really controlling from the safety spot and doing a great job. So good night, Marvell.
All right, you got anything else on Tell, Darrell?
I really do. Give him a lot of credit, because when you take the production of Cam Smith off the field, now you're going to turn to your senior. Yeah. And Marvell Tell played sound. At times when he had to babysit the middle of the field, he was your high safety. But boy, when he recognized the run, he was Johnny on the spot, hovered around the line of scrimmage, and gave you everything that a safety should give you. He was very active in the passing game and very disruptive in the running game. By far, I think his most complete game, and that's saying a lot from the body of work that Marvell Tell has put up this season.
Absolutely. He was a big part of stopping Laviska Shenault, one of the highest ranking coming in receivers for Colorado. But let's stick with you, Darrell. Let's talk a little about offensively for the Trojans. Looking at the passing attack tonight, 3 touchdowns for JT Daniels. What were your thoughts on the night the passing attack had?
Well, when you look at how USC started the game, with JT Daniels throwing an interception on the first play, and then you kind of, if you didn't want to stay up late enough to watch the game and you looked at the stats, you might see the imbalance from the run pass when Clay Helton normally preaches balance. But when you're going up against a Colorado team that wants to play single high safety man coverage and then show you quarter halves, I can see why a JT Daniels wants to exploit those matchups. You got terrific wide receivers in Tyler Vaughns, in Michael Pittman, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Utilize your skill set, your weapons, and he did much of that today, throwing 3 touchdowns to one of Tyler Vaughn, and then he caught Michael Pittman on the sideline. He ran like a slant and go, caught the corner chasing the cheese, kind of biting on that inside route. And make no mistake about it, the ball was thrown up in a radius where Michael Pittman had to make a play, and he made plays all over the field. And he's showing why that physical style is really prominent for this USC offense. It gives this offense an identity, a very physical one at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, Pittman with over 140 yards receiving, a couple of touchdowns. Big night for him. Garry, the rushing attack, a little lackluster at points tonight, though.
And that was, I would say, disappointing coming off of the bye week when Clay Helton talks so much about balance and what you're trying to do. I get it. In the second quarter, that was a very good quarter for the passing game. Basically, I don't want to say a few jump balls up there, but that's kind of what some of them were. Just, hey, go make a play to your receiver, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But boy, every now and then with this USC team, they just get slanted so much toward the pass. And the run game, you just can't do one run every now and then and expect these guys to really get the rhythm. That was disappointing. It's a nice win, not taking away from that. Yeah. But when you're talking the run game, boy, we would like to see that not happen as often.
I would agree with you there, Gary. And when you talk about the run game, when the score was 28-7, felt like it was well in hand. Yeah. Wouldn't that have been a really good opportunity to lean on the running game? Because there's going to come a time late in the season or even next week when you're going to have to summon those demons. And to have that on film and to remember what it feels like to close the game out running the ball would have been an ideal situation while the game was well in hand.
All right, USC's win tonight improves them to 4-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play, first in the South Division now. But Darrell, what does a win like tonight do just beyond getting them to first place in the South? How crucial was tonight's ball game?
I think that it was a must win, and to see the way that USC defensively came out, you can take that type of defense on the road. And Gary, I don't know about you, but I like the fact that they had to figure out a different way to win this game. But next week, the challenges get magnified. And so they're going to have to shore up some things, and you'd like to see them kind of build off of the momentum that they're getting in the passing game. But don't forget about how that running game impacted you when you needed it most throughout the season.
Oh, and the best thing I took away from this game tonight is the defense. Yeah. Your defense, you can control that as much as anything week in and week out. And going on the road to Utah next week, the Utes have just always played us well up in Salt Lake since they joined the conference. Let's bring tonight's defense next week and do that again, and I'll take my chances.
Fantastic, Gary. Certainly USC fans would love to see that. A big matchup next week in Rice-Eccles for the Trojans. But tonight, they're victors, 31-20 over the Colorado Buffaloes in a game that puts them in first place in the Pac-12 South standings. So that's all we have here from the Coliseum. The lawnmowers are going behind us. The Trojans are heading back to campus, and USC is victorious. For Angel Viscarra, Garry Paskwietz, and Darrell Rideaux, you're watching WeAreSC.com.